Hi everybody, today we'll take a look at the new ground vehicles added in War Thunder from Tier 5 to Tier 7 of the Italian Tech tree. We will specifically talk about one main battle tank, 2 light tanks and 1 premium light tank. This is the C13 T90. You can find this vehicle at Tier 5 at BR 6.7. It has a 3-man crew, commander, driver and gunner. Its hull armor is 38 plus 6 mm for the upper part, while the lower part is 50 plus 13 mm thick. The turret armor is 8 mm for the mantlet and turret front. It is armed with the Cockerill Mark III 90mm gun, one coaxial and one roof-mounted 7.62mm FN Mag 6040 light machine gun. The main gun can fire the M620A1 ITFS high-explosive anti-tank fin-stabilized, the M625A1 Hash high-explosive squashed, and the M618A1 smoke shell. The C13 APC armored personnel carrier started development in the 1980s, being first revealed to the public in 1981 on many Italian military magazines. It was first revealed armed with a 12.7mm HMG. Many prototypes were created, such as one armed with a 20 or 25mm autocannon, one anti-air variant armed with the same turret as the sedan. The C13 was trialed by Iraq before the start of the Gulf War. The version in-game is the one armed with the Cockerill 19mm gun. This variant was created to offer this vehicle with some anti-tank, anti-fortification and infantry support capabilities, being capable of tackling order tanks and do scout missions, but no sales ever materialized for any of the variants. The second vehicle we'll take a look at today is the VBC PT2, that stands for Veicolo Blindato da Combattimento Prototipo 2, Armored Fighting Vehicle Prototype 2. You can find this vehicle at Tier 6 at BR 8.7. It has a 3-man crew, commander, driver and gunner. The armor of the front of the hull is 72mm thick. The turret front is 25 plus 40mm, while the gun mantlet is 22mm thick. It is armed with a Oerlikon KBA BO2 25mm autocannon, one coaxial and one roof-mounted 7.62mm Beretta MG4259 light machine gun. The main gun can fire the default belt, that is a mix of APDS armor-piercing discarding sabot and the HEIT high-explosive incendiary tracer rounds. This M762 belt filled with HEIT rounds, the M791 belt filled with APDS rounds, and the PMB090 APFSDS armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot shot. The story of the VBC starts around 1995, where the Italian army and the industry decided to see which variants and vehicles could be based on the Centauro hull. Many prototypes were created using different turret and main guns, but none have picked up the interest of any customers. In the early 2000s, Iveco and Automerara reworked the vehicles, modifying the hull and putting the Dardo turret on top of it, creating what is known as the second prototype. This vehicle caught the attention of the Italian army, that went forward for the development and ended up creating the Freccia. The only premium vehicles for today is the VRCC, that stands for Veicolo de Reconocimiento y Combate de Caballeria Centauro. It has a 4-man crew, driver, gunner, commander and loader. The armor for the upper part of the hull is 15mm thick, the lower part is 35mm thick, the turret front is instead 25mm and the mantlet is 40mm thick. It is armed with the 105mm Automerara 105-52mm gun, a coaxial and 2 roof-mounted 7.62mm Beretta MG4259 machine guns. The main gun is capable of firing the M456 ITFS high-explosive anti-tank fin-stabilized shell, the M393A2 Hash high-explosive squashed, the M416 smoke shell, the M735 and the DM33 APFSDS armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot. In the early 2000s, Spain showed interest in the Centauro to replace their aging fleet of AMX-30 tanks. The Spanish army bought a total of 84 units that were delivered between 2001 and 2006. The first batch produced in Italy and all of the other were produced in Spain. The VRCC is very similar to the Italian Centauro, except for an improved fire control system, gunner optics, and the addition of some small add-on armor to the hull and the turret. At this moment, the Spanish Centauros are still in service with no date of replacement. The last vehicle for today is the Ariete AMV PT1, that stands for Ariete Ammodernamento di Mezza Vita Prototipo 1, Midlife Update Prototype 1. You can find this vehicle at Tier 7 at BR 11.7. It has a 4-man crew, commander, driver, gunner and loader. It's all armor, it's 50mm thick for the lower glacis. The upper glacis offer up to 400mm of protection against chemical and 300mm against kinetic round. The front of the turret offer up to 600mm of protection against chemical and 450mm against kinetic, while the gun mantlet offer up to 530mm against chemical and 400mm against kinetic rounds. It is armed with the 120mm Otto Breda 120 44mm cannon, one coaxial 7.62 Beretta MG42-59 machine gun. The main gun is capable of firing the DM12A1 ITFS high-explosive anti-tank fin stabilized, the CL3143 and the DM353 APFS DS, armor-piercing fin stabilized discarding Seibo shot. The AMV program started around 2020 to upgrade the C1 Ariete main battle tank to extend its operational life to 2030 or 2035. The aim of the program is to improve the mobility, firepower and protection of the vehicle. The main modification sported by the PT1 prototype is the upgrade of the engine to push the maximum horsepower from 1250 to 1500, a modified transmission made with the help of the German ZF company, and the replacement of the tracks with wider ones.